Hey guys, how's it going, and thanks for coming. I'm Nick and this is Real Life Money, where we talk about real life and money because schools aren't. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos, so let's get started. So in this video, guys, I'm going over how I was able to save $100,000 by the time I was 25. Now, originally, I never liked talking about this for a couple obvious reasons, and of course, I don't want to come off like I'm bragging about it. I do want to share my story to tell you that it's definitely possible. It's not like an extravagant story. Anyone could actually do it to get to that. It's a pretty large amount. So let's just get right into the story, guys. So I started just like a lot of people out there did, working at McDonald's. So I was 15. I technically didn't get put on the schedule since I was 16 because it was a weird McDonald's. There was no drive-through, seasonal, even closed down a few years ago. Probably never heard of a McDonald's that closed down before, but very strange. But I started there technically when I was 16. First started making $7.30 an hour. Now, as a kid coming from nothing, that's absolutely amazing. Making that every single hour, yes please. So I started at that level. Started literally knowing nothing. I knew they had Happy Meals and something called a Big Mac. So I worked there, possibly regrettably, for over 5 years. So I went from normal worker up to crew trainer, so I could train other people, up to manager. I was one of the main managers in that store. So my first raise, like I said, I started at $7.30. My first raise was a whopping 10 cents. And of course, as a kid, I'm like, I'll take it. So I got bumped up to $7.40. And, over the years, I increased and I kind of maxed out in the management position around $12. Kind of surpassed that a little bit, I guess because I was a great worker. But that was the level that I was at. So I started there in high school, worked there throughout college, and once I finally graduated college, I moved into my degree field. So I went to college for business management, specialized in finance, which is why I love talking about it. So then after McDonald's, I moved into the field. So I moved into a bank just to get like money fundamentals out of the way. So I went into a bank, started teller 1. Worked there for almost 2 years, got promoted like year and a half in. So I went from teller 1 to teller 2. So money wise, while I was working at the bank, I'm not going to tell you how much the bank had in it, if you wanted to rob it or anything, which I'm not recommending. But so the salary that I was making as a teller was like low to mid 30s. And obviously that's not like anything extravagant. However, around that time when I was moving from the bank to my next job after that, that's when I hit my 6-figure mark. Actually, I didn't hit it when I was 25, which was my goal originally. I actually hit it before that when I was 24. And I thought it was incredible. I didn't even realize it at the time. I was like adding up numbers. I'm like, wait a minute. I think I made that mark, and I actually did. Now, the crazy part is that, which is why I wanted to share with you guys, the salaries that I made were nothing extravagant. Like I said, like the max I was making at that point when I hit that amount was like mid-30s, which is definitely achievable, especially if you have a college degree. In most situations, some degrees are more obnoxious than others, but you can see that you could get to that large amount and still not make anything ridiculous. It wasn't like I was making 6 figures a year as a salary and I was able to save up a bunch. No, I actually had normal jobs. So throughout my life, starting at 16, I mean, you get birthday money when you're like young, like 9 years old and stuff like that. But, when I first started working at 16 all the way up until that 24 mark, I was a saver. And I also invested in stock market and stuff like that. So that's how I grew my money. I wasn't even like heavily investing in the stock market yet. So I made most of that just through pure saving. And that was my net worth. I had no debt. So whatever I had saved is what I was worth technically. So like I never had debt. The only debt that I had was a car loan during like first couple years of college. I remember I had a Honda Civic Coupe 2010. It was pretty slick. But I remember I was paying $200 a month and the loan was for like $8,000 or something like that. I put like half down or whatever. So I was paying that $200 for like a year, and I'm like, you know what? Paying this $200 kind of sucks. And I looked over my bank account. I had the $8,000. I'm like, I'm paying this off. And I did, and that was the last time I owed anybody money. Now, I also have like credit cards, but I don't have any debt. I pay that off every single month, which is what I would recommend for everybody. I have around or just above an 800 FICO score, and I have very low expenses. You know, I don't go out crazy all the time and stuff like that. So that's how I was able to save and invest my way up to that level. So I want this to be motivation for you guys, because it doesn't matter how much money you're making. Obviously, I never made a ridiculous amount of money in my earlier years, and you're able to get to that point, which is what I want to portray to you. Just because you're making, I mean, I wouldn't suggest try to live on minimum wage. That's another topic. But always try to move ahead. You know, try to get promotions or just go for other jobs to make more money over time. Money's not everything. Understand that. There are other things that are more important. However, money is still important. And just realize that that number, that large goal that might seem like ridiculous, is achievable. And for those of you wondering, I also don't have student loans. I have other videos going over that, how to get out of student loans and whatnot. I'll probably leave it in the description if you guys are interested. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns about anything, guys, please leave them down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this motivates anyone out there, basically, because anything is possible if you do it for a long time. And life is a long time. It's a long stretch, long-term goals. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see ya in the next one.